Hey, good morning and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee. Cheers. I am very purpley today with my Hope mug and my magic ears and my villain sweatshirt. Dun, dun, dun. This is actually an awesome sweatshirt that I got a couple of years ago in Disney World. And so there's a whole reason why our topic today is magic villain. It's not just about the concept of duality and living with both good and bad and just the mystery of how can two things coexist together at the same time. But also it's a really special day, and I want to say a big huge shout out to my little sister. It's her 50th birthday today and she is at Disney World, and I wish I could be there. Obviously I decided traveling wasn't the best idea yet for me. So once I build up my stamina more and I can walk, 20 miles a day, then maybe, okay, maybe then. And, it's a little sad. So we're going to talk about that magic and villain, like the bad stuff and the good stuff. All right, let me just check my sound quality here. Make sure that y'all can hear me. Good Sunday morning to you. I know there's a lot going on in the world, and there's a lot of different things to focus on that you could be doing right now. And maybe your energy might be kind of low because you've been on media or social media, and it kind of sometimes drags you down a bit, the doom scrolling thing, or you could be like me and have a neighbor put up a political sign and you're like, wait, what? Like, I know what their political kind of slants are, but the fact that you put it up on your lawn at the end of your driveway toward my house doesn't make me feel very good, especially because I put mine up by my front of my house so you wouldn't have to see it. Anyway, the duality of things, right? The duality of things. So I am emotional and sentimental, so I'm probably going to be a little wavy in my empathic nature energetically. You might actually hear, I'm not sure in the background if you can hear my my dog. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so Rosie's eating a bone on the ground. So if you hear a little like weird noise every once in a while, it's not a spirit, it's a dog. Yeah, and so that's what that's about. So the sentimental thing about today for me is as I'm having my coffee, I know my sister's having her Kona coffee, her lovely French press, amazing coffee that they serve over there at the Polynesian Resort at Walt Disney World. And I know she's going to have a great day, a great birthday. She's with one of her kids is with her, and they're having a fun trip. And it's just really sentimental. It's emotional because we spent our 40th birthday. My 40th birthday was at Disneyland. Her 40th birthday was at Disney World. My 50th birthday was at Disney World last year with her. And this one, it's like I should be there with her, but just have to sit this one out. So maybe at the 60th. Plus, it brings in that duality of things, how you wish things could be different, but they're not. And there's really not much control I have over the fact that they are different. Things have dramatically changed. And it's not to be judged as good or bad. It's just different now. And we have a tendency, I think, to really jump to a level of evaluation. That's how we are, right? Or that's how our brains function. It's to evaluate and make a determination on something and to categorize it or label it or organize it in some fashion so it can make sense. And sometimes things just don't make sense. Things happen that are not sense worthy. They're nonsense. They don't make sense. They make sense in some ways, in other ways they're confusing. I mean, it just there isn't always going to be that definitive yes, no, good, bad, right, wrong. There's just this huge continuum of duality. And we're all living in that right now, here as we are in October of 2024. So I'm not at Disney World today with my sister, but I am celebrating with her. I'm wearing my ears and this sweatshirt. We both got them. I got her one too a couple of years ago. It says Villains, and my sister loves the Halloween vibes. Her and her family love the Halloween vibes at Disney. They're going to the party, and it's just going to be a fun day. And she actually told me, I told her every day that she's on her trip, which is it's like a whirlwind trip, a real quick one, like 3 days, right? And I said, I'm going to wear a Disney shirt each day and celebrate with you. And so I did. And so I have been sending her pictures of my Disney shirts that I'm wearing every day. I haven't sent her this one yet, so I will have to. But she said, I'm on the plane on Saturday. She said, I'm on the plane. I'm wearing my Villain sweatshirt. And that's the one I got for her. So, and that's what I'm wearing today. And it's cold here. So it was rainy this morning there. And so that could be kind of bumming and like depressing a little bit. But it's also, here's the duality of the situation, right? It's really good because it's not quite as hot when it's overcast. And she's going to miss the hurricane that's coming in later in the week there because they're leaving like the day before. So she's not going to have that. So a little bit of rain is fine. And actually, it's cleared up a bit. Now it's light rain, and light rain is totally tolerable if you are a Disney person, like you know how to handle it. You just wear the poncho, man. You whip out that poncho and put it over yourself and you just deal with it. And then when it's done, you take that thing off and you shake it out and you hang it off your little fanny pack or your cute little Loungefly backpack and you let it dry out and flap in the wind and then fold it back up and put it back in. I mean, it's easy. So I am celebrating and I'm really feeling the magic. I'm really feeling the magic of it. I had definitely Friday, I was looking at flights. I was thinking, how can I make this happen? How can I get there and surprise her? And I really thought about it, and it was kind of 50-50. I could do it or I couldn't do it. And I made a good decision not to put myself into like that financial hard place for just 2 days of flying out there quick and hanging out and then coming home. So the duality is that it would be fun to do that. And at the same time, if I'm going to do that, I'm going to do it in a way that I can really enjoy myself because now, like I said, things are different in this duality. I can experience Disney and the things I love to do and the things I want to do, just like you can experience the things you love and the things you want to experience. But you may have to do it in a different way. Maybe it's just temporary. Maybe it's just for right now. Maybe you have to just watch the Disney movies instead of go to the Disney, or wear the Disney shirts instead of go to the Disney. Or maybe because maybe you just are in a place that you can do that right now. And maybe you won't be able to do that, but you don't know for sure. Like, don't commit to the long-term gloom and doom of the scenario. That's what I'm telling myself, because I was really exhilarated because I wasn't afraid to travel. I was like, I can do it. I could travel. I could do it. I could do it. Now, technically, it would be smart for me to make sure that I get all my tests this month and then get my 1-year checkup and then travel, right? It'd be wise to kind of, make sure I have all those things. But I felt not limited for the first time. So it was exhilarating. So it was very magic. It felt very magical, and it didn't feel so negative or restrictive or heavy. And I know that we all face different kinds of situations like that, where we feel really put into a difficult place, or we kind of feel like we might feel like we've lost hope a little bit, or it's hard to accept that things are different sometimes. It just is. And I think that accepting that it's just different is a new perspective for me, instead of trying to come to terms with the loss, the grief, like the life you wish you could have had, or the life you should have had, or the I want things to be different, but they're not, and I don't have control over that, because I literally don't. Like there's nothing I can do about having a dissected aorta. It means that I can't ride on, if I go to Disney, when I go to Disney again, which I will, I will be able to travel. That's not going to be an issue. But when I get there, I can't go on some of those rides that I love, Rock and Roller Coaster, can't do it. Tower of Terror, can't do it anymore. So I've had my last times there in this lifetime. And while that doesn't seem like a huge deal for some people, like, oh, so what? It's a ride, it's a very sentimental, huge, woven, magical part of my family connection with my sister and I, our sisterness, and our connection to our dad. And actually, I have a cute little story about that, sign from spirit. I was watching a live stream on TikTok from one of the people I watch that is at Disney all the time. And that always cheers me up, That's one of those go-tos for me. That and fun animal videos of dogs now. Yes, I am that dog person now. I'm totally that. And I was watching the live stream at Disney, and he was going on a ride, and his friend in front of him, he's like, somebody had asked, hey, what's on your backpack? And Disney, if you don't know, they have these themed backpacks, these little backpacks that everybody wears. Lots of people wear them. And they're like a purse. They're a purse material. They're like a faux leather. And they're called Loungefly. That's the brand name. But then there are different ones like Minnie Mouse or R2D2 or Cowboy Woody or whatever. You know what I mean? There are all these characters, and they're fun. And they have some like Halloween theme and Christmas theme ones. It's just really fun. And people collect them and stuff like that. And they're handy because they're little backpacks, little ones, purse backpacks. And the guy in front of him was wearing one. And somebody had asked on the live stream, hey, what's on your backpack? And he said, oh, it's Steamboat Willie. Steamboat Willie is a version of Mickey Mouse, like an early black and white version of Mickey Mouse, if you don't know. And it was a really special thing for my dad. It's like a symbol of my dad. So especially when my sister and I are together and we're at Disney or whatever, we see Steamboat Willie stuff. It's unique. It's different. It's really a throwback big time, like way to the early days of Disneyland, way before Disney World and all that. Even before Disneyland was a thing, way back. And we see that and we think of my dad. It's a symbol. It's a sign from spirit. It's a sign from energetic communication that the memory that we have is real. The love that we feel is real. And it's this connection, and it's a validation is what it is. And to make that happen, we manifest that, right? She and I connect, and we are together, and we're enjoying this, and we're feeling the energy of my dad, and he responds. That's what happens. That's how it works. It's not that complicated. And so I saw it. A backpack, Steamboat Willie. Today, on my sister's 50th birthday, while she's at Disney World, at Magic Kingdom, having breakfast across the lagoon, the Seven Seas Lagoon at Polynesian, in her fancy coffee this morning with her kid, with her daughter, her youngest, who's like in her upper 20s. God, we're so old. My daughter said that to me today. She's like, on a text, she's like, wow, you guys are old. I'm like, hey, zip it. I'm like, yeah, and I'm glad to be, because I'm glad to still be here. Thank you very much. And so it was lovely to have that, what a duality, what a magical moment. And I'm not even there at Disney World, and I feel it. I can feel it. See, that's one of the gifts of being an empath. Just like you can feel stuff. Now, it's not just about feeling the villain of things, the bad parts of stuff. It's also about feeling the perspective change inside you, to notice that the duality exists all the time. So when something bad is going on, there is a goodness in it. And I know that people tell you that like as advice, And it sucks to hear it in the moment. So think of it now and bring it up for yourself in the moment. Bring up your own inner wisdom, bring up your own inner psychic, bring up your own inner healer, and remind yourself in those moments that underneath here, not, oh, once I get through this, once I'm done with this, then they'll be good. No, there's good right now. The fact that I can feel is good. The fact that I'm alive is good. And the energy of the shock and of the loss and of the trauma that you might be facing, that might be a really big deal right now, like for our friends and dealing with the aftermath of the hurricanes and the incredible devastation. They're an example of what really matters in life is life, one day at a time. One day at a time, one meal at a time, one glass of water at a time. They're an example. It's not about comparison. It's not about that. Like, this is much worse than this, and this is much worse than that. But it's about the perspective. So like my new thing with my kids is when there's something they're freaking out about and it feels bad, like, oh, I can't pay my rent, or, oh my God, my car's broken and it's going to be $1,800 to replace the brakes and on and on. My car's not even worth that much, which is true. And I don't have the money for that. What am I going to do? I have to get to work, blah, 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 all the things, right? You know, because you've been in this situation. You might be in that situation right now. You might be in that situation for you. You might be in that situation for a loved one. And what do you do? What do you do? It's just like, oh, to the hill, right? But my new thing is, well, do you need a kidney? Even if you needed a kidney, there's two. Like I have two. So I might be able to help you out with that. But it's not like you're in need of a heart transplant or a liver transplant or a lung transplant. It's not like you need an organ, okay, in order to survive your life. This is just like a situation, okay? This is a situation. And you don't have control. It happened. You can't change the fact that it's happening. It's happening. Like the weather. You cannot change the weather. Although I've heard, I guess, that if you're a Democrat, you might be able to control the weather. I was thinking about that. It might be really handy for me in Minnesota, because that's where I'm from, in the wintertime. Maybe I could change the weather. That would be kind of awesome, wouldn't it? What alchemy, witchery would that be? Well, that'd be kind of fan-freaking-tastic. Because if I could change the weather, guess what? It wouldn't have been a fucking hurricane, I can tell you that much. It wouldn't be devastating, and people wouldn't be in trauma right now. So, hope, magic, villain. Ugh. The duality is just the reality, my friends. Ooh, that's like a tweetable. Oh, but there's no Twitter anymore, is there? It's just a big X or something. The duality is reality, and it's not bad. Let's stop making things bad, bad, bad. Let's try really hard to not let our brains take over and go good, bad, ugly, pretty. Right, wrong, smart, dumb. Because we know there's a whole continuum of that. Like my neighbors, they're not dumb. They're just, I don't know. So perspective, right? It's perspective, the duality, both exists. So when there's bad, there's good. But that also means when there's good, there is not so good. Because the thing is like when things are really good and things are awesome and great, and you're on this high and you feel good and your energy's good and the sun is out and you don't have to worry about your depression. And then 2 days later, 3 days later, 3 weeks later, 3 months later, you're in the doldrums and you're like, what happened to me? How can I possibly be such a different person than I was 3 days ago, 3 weeks ago, 3 months ago? It's because we're not stagnant. We're always moving and flowing. We're interacting and engaging with life, and we're energy. So when we're feeling good, we know the perspective is there's a balance of that. that we've kind of gotten through some stuff, that we get to this point where we can feel what good is again. Remember what good is again, whatever that means for you, however you would define that. So the duality of things is the reality of things. And let's try not to good bad it. It's not to say we don't have power, though. We're definitely empowered. If you think about this, the villain inside of you is what really erodes your hope and your faith. The villain inside you is what does the self-sabotaging and the negative beliefs and judges you and other people and does the comparison thing. And then there's like these bad feelings and these made up stories that get really blown out of proportion in scenarios that maybe aren't really that big of a deal, but it sure feels like it because we're projecting everything into one thing or onto another person when it's really a whole lifetime of experiences kind of related to that. Whatever it is, guilt or shame or blame or not enoughness or wanting more or being mistreated or not loved enough or misunderstood or whatever it is that we feel like we've lost or lacked. There's a grief that we have not collectively dealt with of the difference between what we've needed and what we've received, or what we've created and what we haven't, because we just didn't realize that we have power inside of ourselves. But the power doesn't have to be the villain. And we don't have to be our own villains. The negative thought processes and patterns and things that come up, we got to have something to combat that inside, to release it or soften it. So you're going to see me eat some of these. Oops. The dog's going to eat that one. I got 2 bags of these in the mail yesterday. Thank you, AJ. Appreciate it. Gluten-free almond biscotti. Talk about a gift, let me tell you. Again, the duality. It tastes good, but my belly hurts, even though it's gluten-free, because when you eat a whole bag of them, probably not the best thing. And I could judge myself for that or not. I could villainize myself or not. You have control over that. Of the perspective that you have over how you're perceiving your situation or your life or other people's stuff. You don't only have control over other people's stuff, but how you perceive it. And if you take it personally when it's really not. We really do become our own villains, don't we? Yeah, we do. I know there's a villain inside me that tells me all these bad things, like you can focus on never being able to ride this ride again, or you can be appreciative that you can fly back to the magic and travel again and be by yourself at Disney World, and it would be fine. I would be okay. I'm not going to walk for 15 miles a day, and I'm not going to spend tons of time in the heat because my body just isn't cool with that. But it doesn't mean I can't. It doesn't mean my life is over. It doesn't mean all the memories are gone. The memories are amazing. These ears, these purple ears, I actually got when I went with 2 friends of mine to Disney many years ago, like 2016, I think, or 17, 18, something like that. My good friend Dina bought these for us. Bought these for me. And they're purple because of Prince stuff, obviously. She's one of my friends I met through Prince. And they're fun, aren't they? I always have them. I have them actually usually hanging on the wall in my bathroom. Doesn't that sound weird? But my bathroom is kind of Disney-ish. I have a lot of cool Disney things just that are really subtle. And these are just fun. I have these hanging in there so I can just see them and sparkly fun. And so, see, we can bring in our own magic. Instead of letting our mind go into that villain mode. What about the magic mode? What about creating our own magic today? What about going by yourself to that coffee shop and bringing your journal and just sitting, buying yourself a cup of just regular coffee? You don't have to buy the fancy $8 coffee. You can get the $3 coffee, and you can sit for an hour or two and just journal about the things you're grateful for, the magic that's been in your life, the things you're noticing as you're sitting there. The kids laughing, the dog, the cute little dog that's walking by, the beautiful, brilliant blue of the sky, and how green some of the trees still are right now. How lucky is that in October still? Those kinds of magical things. Focus on that and amplify that. And recognize that there are villains, parts of ourselves. There are darker shadow sides, and they're not bad. They're just duality. They're just duality. We can't avoid the negative, but we also don't have to jump into it and be part of that. And sometimes we will feel bad, and sometimes we will be negative, and sometimes we will act a fool and be jerks. Sometimes we will be jerk butts, like I say to my kids. Don't be a jerk butt. Sometimes we are. And we can always course correct with a new perspective, forgiveness, and healing. That's how it works. That's where the power is, within ourselves. So thank you so much for being here at Sunday Morning Coffee today. Hey, tomorrow I think I'm going to do a energetic forecast for somebody live. I have someone that's reached out to me a couple of different times, not really sure what she wants to do for session or to work together or how should we work together, but I want to work with you, but I don't know what to do with you. And I'm like, girl, just schedule a session. We'll figure it out, But she asked about a personal monthly forecast, which now we're into October. So I said, hey, how about I do it live stream? Or how about I do a video for you and use it as an example for other people so you guys can all know what that is and how I do that. I thought that might be kind of fun as a psychic thing, and you can see how I do it. Then you could try to do it for yourself if you want to. You could totally do that because I'm all about encouraging you to be your own psychic, to use your own power, because that's what this is all about. That's what Above Life Channel is about. Yeah, I'm a psychic. Yeah, I'm a medium. Yeah, I do energy stuff. Yeah, whatever. Okay, that's like the professional thing that I do. Yeah, I get it. That's my job. Yeah. But the purpose is for you to embrace your own gifts and your own connectivity and your own ability. And it's natural, and we all have it. We all are intuitive. Be psychic for yourself. Believe in yourself, trust your own inner wisdom. And that takes practice. And that's what Above Life Channel is about, is the experiential learning of it. That's why I've channeled for years here. And you have tons of videos you can watch from your favorite celebrities in the archives. You can watch the playlists that teach you how to do different things. If you're interested in different topics, there's different topics there. This year, 2024, has been focused on the empath. So the recent videos in this entire year of 2024 will be related to empathic energy, how to manage that, how to understand that. I mean, it's just, there's just a lot of support for you here so that you can bring this part of you into life now, because it's going to serve you. It's going to help you. And when it helps you, it improves your relationships. And when it does that, it improves the lives of other people, wherever you go, whatever you're doing, whatever venues you're in. And then that helps others on and on and on and on and on. So thank you so much for being here. I hope we've inspired your spirit and filled you with some biscotti. I mean, filled you with some hope and encouraged you. Oh, I shouldn't put this in my mouth and then talk. That's not very polite, is it? Okay, that's not. I'll read the chat while I'm chewing. Hi, Grace. Good morning. Jarrell, hey, nice to see you. Irene, nice to see you. Good morning. Temple, hello, Mystic Mama. Oh, Lisa, hi. I hope you're doing okay down there in Florida. Lots of prayers. Lots of prayers. Just the energy of all that would be just so overwhelming. Ugh. Oh. All right. So I hope we've encouraged you to live your life. It's your life after all, and you get to live it. You villain, you. Oh, come on. You're so magical. Thanks, you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.